The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Government set to destroy more shantytowns. And man accused of killing corrections officer in triple stabbing. Those stories all straight ahead this morning. I'm Chester Robards filling in for Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Chester Robards filling in for Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Farrell Goff will be joining us. Also this morning, we've got Morning Blend Business. That's at 9 o'clock. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. And in the overnight, the government is preparing to continue its shantytown demolition initiative, taking aim at Eleuthera, and has announced the discovery of an additional 2 unregulated communities in New Providence. According to Minister of Works and Family Affairs Clay Sweeting, the effort in Eleuthera is expected within 2 weeks. The Unregulated Communities Task Force is on Russell Island in Eleuthera dealing with the shantytown there, Sweeting said yesterday. That is one that has been a concern for decades, and we committed to dealing with that. So the full team is there. Social Services, Environmental Health, Ministry of Health, all of the full components of the task force are there. He said, quote, "We anticipate demolition within the next 2 weeks." In September, we confirmed the task force served eviction notices to residents in Eleuthera, Andros, and New Providence. And a New Providence man appeared in court yesterday accused of fatally stabbing a corrections officer and injuring 2 of his co-workers. Michael Petty, 21, of Pinewood Gardens, is charged with the murder of Ashantio Johnson and the attempted murders of Perry Butler and Gregory Bullard. The charges stem from a fight at the Blue Ice Lounge on Blue Hill Road and Meeting Street on November 5th. Prosecutors allege that Petty stabbed the men before an off-duty policeman shot him. Petty was not required to enter pleas to the charges when he made his first court appearance before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. He was denied bail and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. This matter is to be fast-tracked to the Supreme Court by a voluntary bill of indictment in February. And a $22.7 million contract signed for works on Mangrove Key. Major road and water works are underway for Mangrove Key Andros after the government signed the public-private partnership with Bakerwick Construction Company Limited and Ambies Patching and Maintenance. The project will see the paving of 17 miles of road from Moxie Town to Lisbon Creek and a full overhaul of Mangrove Key's water system. And Zane Lightbourne reveals he's now the Minister of Environment. Yamacraw MP Zane Lightbourne revealed in a social media post yesterday that he is the Minister of the Environment and Natural Resources. After the Post and Nassau Guardian inquired with the Office of the Prime Minister about the appointment, given that there had been no announcement, OPM confirmed that Lightbourne has been appointed as the temporary Minister of the Environment and Natural Resources. He previously served as Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational. And while the Progressive Liberal Party government has hailed its efforts to repave deteriorating roads on family islands across the Bahamas, St. Anne's MP Adrian White said yesterday that it's a reactive and uncoordinated approach driven by political expediency. Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting noted earlier last week nearly $500 million worth of extensive road paving exercises are underway on several family islands as part of the government's plan to revitalize roads in the country. White said that while the FNM believes reliable infrastructure is a key component of economic growth and opportunity, the works amounts to politics. Let's take a look at international news now. Seems that government shutdown in the U.S. has ended after a record 43 days. President Donald Trump signed a government funding bill Wednesday night, ending the shutdown that caused financial stress for federal workers who went without paychecks, stranded scores of travelers at airports, and generated long lines at some food banks. The shutdown magnified partisan division in Washington as Trump took unprecedented unilateral actions, including canceling projects and trying to fire federal workers, to pressure Democrats into relenting on their demands. The Republican president blamed the situation on Democrats and suggested voters shouldn't reward the party during next year's midterm elections. Trump said, quote, "So I just want to tell the American people you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country." The signing ceremony came just hours after the House passed the measure on a mostly party-line vote of 222 to 209. The Senate had already passed the measure on Monday. And a House committee released 23,000 documents related to Jeffrey Epstein on Wednesday, many of them emails the convicted sex offender sent to his rich or influential friends or to reporters over many years. Democrats in the House Oversight Committee initially released 3 emails where Epstein mentioned President Donald Trump. Republicans on the committee responded by disclosing the bigger trove of documents and accused the Democrats of cherry-picking a few messages out of context in an effort to make Trump look bad. Epstein served about a year in jail after pleading guilty in 2008 to soliciting prostitution from someone under the age of 18, but then went on to renew relationships with many influential figures in business, academics, and politics. Epstein killed himself in jail in 2019, a month after his arrest on sex trafficking charges. Epstein said Trump knew about the girls, but it's unclear what he meant. Trump and Epstein were friends for years, but at some point had a falling out even before underage girls started to come forward to accuse Epstein of sexual abuse. Journalists sometimes reached out to Epstein, perhaps hoping he might have dirt to spill on Trump. One of those writers was Michael Wolff, who has written extensively about Trump. In a 2019 email to Wolff, Epstein mentioned that one of his best-known accusers, Virginia Giuffre, had worked at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club. Epstein wrote, quote, "She was one who accused Prince Andrew. Guthrie, who died by suicide earlier this year, had said that Epstein's longtime companion, Ghislaine Maxwell, recruited her from Mar-a-Lago to give sexualized massages to Epstein, and Trump had long claimed that he banned Epstein from coming to Mar-a-Lago. Let's turn our attention to sports now. And Derby season, affectionately known as Don't Blink season, has returned to the home of sun, sand, and sea for the 8th edition of the Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise, dubbed the greatest show on sand. The end-of-year star-studded event has steadily grown and evolved since its inception in 2018, and this year is no different, with Derby Week set to run from December 10th to 13th across various venues. Todd Isaacs Jr., co-founder of the Don't Blink Home Run Derby, spoke about what it means to see the event continue to grow year after year. He said, quote, "We feel that the Bahamas is the best place in the world for sports tourism. We just want to continue to grow. We have such beautiful partners, and we just thank you all for being here. We are 8 years in it, which is crazy to think about, just reflecting on the past 7 years and what we have been able to accomplish here in the Bahamas, bringing the baseball community from the 4 corners of the world to experience our country, our hospitality, but most importantly, experience our people. It has been nothing short of amazing. Today, I am excited to proudly announce the 8th edition of the greatest show on sand." And the taste of last year's championship victory was so sweet that the St. Anne's High School junior baseball team had to go for another in the Bahamas Association of Independent Secondary Schools Best of 3 championship series on Wednesday evening at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium. The Blue Waves turned back the Queens College Comets 6-1 through 6 innings in Game 2 of the series to cement the two-peat with a 2-game sweep in the junior division. The championship glory was second to none for the Blue Waves as the team not only defended their baseball crown, but also completed the season undefeated and as the pennant winners, marking the climax of a storybook run. St. Anne's assistant coach Jacoby Wells could not have asked for a better birthday present as the team brought home the championship hardware. And the Queens Comets took care of business to repeat as champions at the 2025 Bahamas Association of Independent Secondary Schools Swimming Championships on Wednesday at the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center. The Comets blew the competition out of the water with a leading total of 437 points. The St. Anne's High School Blue Waves had a few remarkable performances to earn the school a second-place finish with 405.5 points. It was a close battle between Windsor School and St. Augustine's College for third place, but Windsor snuck into the top 3 with 232.5 points. Sax Big Red Machine just missed out on a top 3 finish with a total of 223.5. The Blue Waves led the medal count with 34, including 15 gold, 11 silver, and 8 bronze. The QC Comets had 35 medals with a combination of 12 gold, 9 silver, and 14 bronze. In sports overseas, Insisting he lives in the moment, Russell Wilson expressed no desire to part ways with the New York Giants after again losing out on the starting quarterback role. Wilson said Wednesday, I love it here. I love my teammates. I want to see it through. I haven't asked for a release or anything like that. I want to be here. More than a decade removed since helping Seattle win the Super Bowl, Wilson seems to be at another crossroads of contemplating his football future. He turns 37 on November 29th and does not have an NFL contract beyond this season after signing a one-year deal in March. That still does not mean Wilson sounds ready to hang up his cleats, saying he feels like he's, quote, still got it. He said, I still want to keep playing football. I know what I'm capable of. I know how great I am. I know what I've done. That's your look at sports, and you look at the overnight. Your first look at weather is up next. And here's a look at your weather for today. There are no public warnings in effect at this time. Your general situation, a stationary front lingering across the southeast Bahamas will maintain showers and isolated thunderstorms in the forecast today, mainly affecting the southeast and portions of the central Bahamas. In contrast, the remainder of the islands will experience drier, cooler, and more stable conditions. The stationary front is expected to weaken by Friday, reducing shower activity across the southeast Bahamas into the weekend. Meanwhile, a slight chance of some brief passing showers are possible across the northern Bahamas on Friday into early Saturday as the tail end of a weak cold front moves into the Atlantic. High pressure over the southeastern U.S. will bring gentle to fresh breezes across the island chain through the weekend and into the start of the work week. In special weather notes, rip currents and rough surf, there is a high risk for them, affecting coastlines of the central and southeast Bahamas. Beachgoers and swimmers in these areas are urged not to enter Atlantic waters and should exercise extreme caution when entering sheltered areas. For the northern Bahamas, weather partly cloudy this morning, becoming partly sunny by this afternoon, and mostly fair tonight. There is a less than 10% chance of an isolated shower. Winds north to northeast at 10 knots or less. Your high temperature today, 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Your low, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. For the northwest Bahamas, weather partly cloudy this morning, becoming variably cloudy by this afternoon, and mostly fair tonight. A 10% chance of an isolated shower. Winds northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts. Your high temperature, 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Your low, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. For the central Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy through tonight. A 10 to 20% chance of a brief passing shower. Winds northeasterly at 15 to 20 knots. Your high temperature 82 degrees Fahrenheit, your low 75. And for the southeast Bahamas, weather partly cloudy with occasional overcast periods through tonight. A 30 to 40% chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Winds northeasterly at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Your high temperature 82 degrees Fahrenheit, your low 75 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll have an extended outlook for you later on in the show. But that's your first look at weather. When we come back, we're discussing some of the day's top stories. That's when Morning Blend continues here on Guardian Radio 96.9, home of fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
At RBC, your idea of getting more happens here with a no-fee loan. Share in up to $20,000 in cash prizes. Learn more at rbc.com/holiday loan.
This time around, me girl is Brian Brown. This time around, me girl is Brian Brown. This baby, he got so much to give. Educational program, young people and the kids. You ain't gotta be no whiz. Brian handling business, all kind of things in these senior citizens. Hey!
Paid for by the Free National Movement.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Baha Mar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy, the kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out or a spontaneous evening with friends, this is where you want to be. The John Baptiste Jazz Club, only at Baha Mar. Reserve your table now at bahamar.com/jazz club or through the Baha Mar app, because every evening plays its own tune.
At Cleveland Clinic, you set your course, not cancer. So when your journey takes an unexpected turn, you seek out the experts who've conquered it before, and you forge new paths to help fight cancers. For every route to a cure, for every care in the world. See how we're innovating cancer care at Cleveland Clinic today.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Calling all Bahamian entrepreneurs. Get ready for the Entrepreneurship Think Tank, one of the Tourism Development Corporation's signature programs that provides both information and direction to new and developing businesses. Expect a lineup of industry experts and keynote speakers whose keen insights, strategies, and real-world experiences can help you take your business to the next level. Come on down to the Entrepreneurship Think Tank on Thursday, November 13th, 2025, from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the National Training Agency.
Mom, the Christmas cookies are ready. We leave them right here under the tree for
Santa or for CIBC Caribbean.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 or BTC Flow Channel 612. Guardian Radio is on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Again, I'm Chester Robards, filling in for Dwight Strachan. Farrell Goff will be joining me in just a moment. You can join our conversation today. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or follow the hashtag MorningBlend. Be sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Leave your comments and read what others are saying about topics on the show. You can email us at morningblend@nascar.com. You can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. You can text us at 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Standard text rates do apply. If you want to call us, you can call us at 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll-free from the Family Islands, 242-300-5720. Also coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. I neglected to mention during the first weather report that is sponsored by Star General Insurance Made Simple. But first, it's time to talk about what's in the news. In the news, everyone's favorite topic, shantytowns. And officials saying that they are taking an aim at Eleuthera. Now, we've heard this Eleuthera conversation before. And of course, there's still more things to aim at on New Providence, apparently. My. So let's read some more of this. If you heard what we read, well, I'll just read the whole thing. The government is preparing to continue its shantytown demolition initiative, taking aim at Eleuthera, and has announced the discovery of an additional 2 unregulated communities in New Providence. This story written by our Caitlin Babb. Says, according to Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs, Clay Sweeting, the effort in Eleuthera is expected within 2 weeks. He said, quote, the Unregulated Communities Task Force is on Russell Island at Eleuthera dealing with the shantytown there. That is one that has been a concern for decades. And we committed to dealing with that. So the full team is there, social services, environmental health, Ministry of Health, all of the full components of the task force are there. So he says they anticipate demolition within the next 2 weeks on Russell Island, I assume. That's what he's talking about. And then he said, and then the story says in September, Sweeting confirmed the task force served eviction notices to residents on Eleuthera, Andros, and New Providence. It was also reported that the task force had delivered close to 200 eviction notices on New Providence up to that point. Sweeting said yesterday the task force has identified 2 new unregulated communities in New Providence since then. However, officials are working carefully to follow protocol and ensure that the process is handled with care. He said, quote, we have identified 2 in New Providence and 1 in Andros. But all the legal work, ensuring that the persons are notified, taking proper population count of who is Bahamian, who are persons who hold permits, who doesn't have any permit, immigration deals with that. So the task force basically is the structure. Then we have different components. Immigration will deal with their component, health will deal with theirs, and you have the defense force, you have the Attorney General's office. All these components work in tandem to ensure that nothing is left out. Sweeting reiterated that residents of unregulated communities receive a 30-day eviction notice to either demolish their homes or relocate. To either demolish their homes or relocate. Doesn't demolition require that you relocate? Just me. Okay. So it says a lot of times you have persons who say who's within these shanty towns that there's not enough time. The 30 days, the legal framework for notification. Very seldom, 30 days, you'll see demolition happen because there are some other things, some processes you have to put together. He said, so it's still on the radar and we're dealing with them as we finalize all these components. The elimination of shantytowns in the Bahamas has been a long-standing ambition across successive administrations. The initiative was started under the Minnis administration but was halted by legal action. The Unregulated Community Action Task Force was created by the Davis administration after an injunction prevented the demolition of unregulated communities was lifted in 2023. The government's efforts have been met with controversy as some critics have questioned the ethics surrounding the demolitions, citing concerns about where affected residents will go after eviction. Right. So, talk about that. I don't know, from the story, when he says new shantytowns on New Providence, if he's saying that they found 2 new ones or that they were built up since the demolition of the last few. Maybe somebody could clarify that for me. Somebody who's in the know. Russell Island, shantytown. I've been to Russell Island 1.5 times. I say a half time because I think I've only been to like one piece of it the first time I went. I don't remember seeing any shantytown, but I do know that, well, I do know that Spanish Wells proper can't have no shantytown. But as the minister said, Clay Sweeting said, Russell Island has been dealing with their shantytown issue for, he says, quote, decades, right? Russell Island is as big as this office I'm in. I mean, that's hyperbole, but I don't get the language when we talk about problems we have as if we have to traverse mountain and valley to go and fix them. I don't understand, identifying new shantytowns as if every time somebody who is taking off in a plane cannot see the entire island of New Providence as they fly over it. Policing this island shouldn't be such a big problem. Like the minute you see something pop up and residents are around these places, don't they say things to people? Oh, I see somebody building something in the bush. Maybe you should come check it out. Or, if you put up a drone in hot spots, maybe you could say, I see some illegal stuff going on. Let's go stomp that fire out before it turns into a blaze.
Hey, morning, Chester.
Hey, Varl, what you say?
Hey, good morning, Bahamas. Yeah, interesting topic, man. Very, very interesting topic.
It's good. This is always an interesting topic.
Well, also too is not. It surprised me when I heard that there were 2 new shantytowns discovered in New Providence.
Yeah, I don't know what new means.
That's very interesting because it's like you said, it's not very difficult to survey. One person tasked with that once or twice a week to go and scour Google Earth, NASA Google Earth, and kind of identify maybe the little buildups because they start from somewhere, right? It's not like they don't pop up overnight and become these major developments,
right?
Or shanty towns overnight. It takes time, so you can kind of start to see the buildup, right? And you should be able to track it. And so I imagine it's not very difficult to assign someone to that. So that was very surprising. It's not. The earlier you catch it, obviously, the much easier it would be logistically, because once it starts to become a substantial place of residence for folks, it becomes a lot more complicated with all of the agencies that have to be involved. It's not as simple as telling people, you need to leave by we coming with the tractor tomorrow. That's
Yeah.
inhumane. That's not how anybody would want to be treated. However you ended up in any place in the world, you would expect a little bit more decency, a little more heads up, a little more consideration for having to go and move and find new residents, legitimate residents, someplace else. So these things, and there's legalities around it as well, rightfully so. I mean, I'm happy that we are a country of law, and it's not as easy as just pushing the tractor, getting the tractor to push them down,
Right.
Chester. So these things take time, right? So yeah, I even more reason why we should be doing our due diligence constantly.
Yeah.
Right. Knowing that we're going to continue to have an influx of folks who our economy needs it. These folks are trying to get away from where they are. So this is going to be an ongoing issue for a very long time. You demolish one, there's a great chance that another one will pop up.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of how things work. So if you want to stay on top of it and actually make net gain, you really have to stay on top of it. It has to be an active exercise.
Yeah.
On every island. So it's not an easy job, Chester.
No,
right?
no.
It's not easy, especially when we've allowed something to grow to such proportions across the entire country.
Yeah.
And now to turn around and try to say, okay, we're going to address shanty towns. That's a tall order, my brother.
No. I mean, it is. But again, these things didn't pop up overnight. The conversation about Russell Island and its decades-old shanty town, I mean, if you look at the economy that is Russell Island and Spanish Wells, you almost have to tie the two together. So
I think that's the same for most shanty towns around the country.
Right.
It's
so
usually, it serves, they believe it or not, the persons in the labor serves a purpose, a very important purpose.
So the question is, what do they do? What are they going to do? What's their solution for housing for the people that are going to be
right? Because they have to go. They have to find some decent legal housing, and affordable housing. Right. That's the thing.
So they're not moving. They're not moving to Spanish Wells. I can tell you that.
Yeah. No. That's right. Right. Well. I anyway. Maybe that's a topic for another show. But
or maybe as a topic for never.
there's an evolution. I've heard. I've not physically been. There's an evolution that's happening in Spanish Wells, right? And probably inevitably, right? It's only so long.
You need evolution.
It's okay. That's perfectly fine, right?
Yeah.
That's makes the world go round.
Absolutely.
But
no, go ahead.
No, it's just a complicated, difficult topic of shanty towns, and it's and then you have the emotions tied into it for the citizens of the Bahamas who they just tear them down. I know it's taking so long, and but it's this thing has to be done legally, humanely, and systematically.
Yeah, and then there is also the issue that seems to never ever come up or be dealt with, which is they mention in the story they have to find out who's a Bahamian that lives in the shanty town. They have to find out who might be undocumented that lives in the shanty town. They have to find out who holds a work permit that lives in the shanty town, which begs, again, the question, who's the sponsor for the work permit? And why didn't they follow the protocol of finding housing for this person? And we don't ever hear the end results of those things. Also, the properties that may be being
Some of these shanty
rented.
towns, they are paying
Rent.
They're paying rent. It is an entire system. So,
correct.
Yeah, we don't hear about those.
We never hear.
And that doesn't mean these folks aren't being pursued.
That's what it means to me.
Prosecuted. No, that's not what that means.
Because I would think that we would have covered it.
We want all the juicy details, but I don't think. I think if the government wanted to communicate that, if they are pursuing those all the way to legal prosecution, they could share that information. I don't think they have to.
We, the NASA Guardian, have the best court reporter ever in life.
Well, in that instance, yes.
And I would say that we would know if people were being prosecuted for this particular thing, unless they're keeping it so hush hush. But I mean, come on, it would be public knowledge. One would think.
No, and I think it's just. I think it's only. It's that shows integrity of the system and fairness of the system, that all parties who may have breached our laws prosecuted to the full extent, right?
Yeah.
Not just one particular group, right? And their lives disrupted and possibly fines and that sort of stuff. So I think I would be disappointed if we're not doing that, Chester. I think that shows a mature, healthy, fair system.
Well, let me lay some mature, healthy disappointment down on you, because I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, and then that's how you prevent. That's how you hold folks accountable, and that's how you prevent the opportunity to possibly do it again in the future, right?
And I'm glad you used that word. Let's talk about the opportunities that are presented from these kinds of things, right? There's an opportunity for some person with money and access to build some kind of housing complex themselves and market that to all of the companies that seem to have to bring people in, right? Make it affordable. Mm-hmm. It may not make you a million overnight, but come on, these people need somewhere to live. And they pay rent, put your plan together so that several of them could share a dorm or whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right?
But very few people want to leverage their money and take the risk for a low return, Chester, right? Especially when it comes to real estate. So more than likely, it's going to boil down to the government or possibly some type of governmental partnership with someone.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The government can supplement returns, but
see, you already figured it out.
That's the way the world. People are not going to spend their money for very little return.
This will be the mailboat online.
Fair enough. That's how that system works.
I'm saying, however you have to do it, but you can make something off of it, right? No, I didn't say it's gonna make you a millionaire, but it does two things. It gives you an entrepreneurial opportunity, and it helps people out. What more should you want from life?
In a perfect world.
Yeah, I agree.
We still getting there. We're still working towards that goal.
Yeah. Let's take some of these calls that are coming in now. Let's take this first one. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning. Pleasant day.
Pleasant day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, we hear you.
Thank you. Pleasant day.
Good play.
You did mention Russell Island, so let me get it out of the way, please. Mm-hmm. I would like to know where we can find a list of all the islands of the Bahamas. We hear of 700 islands, rocks, and keys. First time I'm hearing of Russell Island, but listening to your conversation, I figure it's connected near to Spanish Wells. Perhaps that in the area of Abaco or something like that, perhaps.
I'm not
sure. So perhaps somewhere along the line we can find out so we can truly educate, especially our young ones, so they truly know what is the Bahamas and know all the islands of the Bahamas. That's not just the main one.
You can slap that one right into Google. You'll see it.
You mean not just Russell Island? You mean all the 700 islands?
Oh no, I'm just talking about Russell. I'm just talking about Russell right now.
No. Right.
Yeah.
I'm speaking about educational purposes for a social study teacher and the rest of it. Like we actually know the islands of the Bahamas beyond the 20 or so that is popular. Now, in terms of shantytown, this issue normally comes up, especially prior to an election and so on. So I would like perhaps to have a collaborative effort with all the political aspirants together to identify them and to come up with the same solutions that were discussed moments ago with you and your previous guest. Now, I spoke to someone last night, waiting for transportation after work. After 10, I went walking. And I said, these employers perhaps should provide some sort of transportation. You're providing income for them, you revenues and all that. They said, no, all they concern, you have a job, you got to find a way to get there. And since you can't find a shelter for homeless, think about finding transportation to take people home. So we need to actually lift the standards all across the Bahamas, because the shantytowns are the shantytowns per se in a zone. But in the inner cities, there are equivalent communities that are somehow, sorry, sad to say, worse than the environment in the shantytowns. So we do have that housing problem. We do have that situation where a person only think perhaps of profit. And so there's an improvement that needs to be done across. There's certain areas in Nassau you could never drop into a pothole. The road would never be broken at the edge. And other areas where people have to move back and forth, you can lose about 5 tires in 1 month. So there's a lot to be done, and we need to do it together.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Carla.
Appreciate that.
This is very true. Multiple, we could talk of multiple projects at once. Though I also saw in the newspaper some interesting news about roadworks in the Family Island. So, to his point, sounds like some of that is being addressed, not in certain areas of New Providence just yet, though.
Yeah, no, you're right. Let's take some more of these calls. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning, Chef. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm always fine. Good morning to your guests, and good morning to all my BME people, because you know I love you, JJ, love you. Chester.
Yes, sir.
You ever heard anything about the contract?
About the which one?
The contract.
No.
In the U.S. Let me explain to you. My daddy, my grandfathers, my uncles, all of them went in the contract in the late 50s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I think Apple, oranges, etc., etc. They went to the right channel. The American, whoever were the farmers of the days, they even had to get tested for syphilis, or we call it last year, to make sure they were healthy. They are trying to people to stay. But our BMB people like Edison, Keaton, who are them farms and Abercorn, make them pay for these things. They are part of the problem. When the farmers earlier, this country is so corrupt, man. Everybody willing to deal. See, if it's after me, every civil servant who don't do their time, I will send them home. 80% of them need to go home. Bigger than the young people who we send to school, who run this country right. Because nothing working right in this country. The Bahamas is one of the richest country in the world, man. The police force got us a laugh. So everybody calling our police officers to work. Every time we read the paper, somebody get locked up. What's wrong with our people, man? The American people who are watching, I don't know how our leaders and how our diplomatic people feel when they talk to other people. Think our judges, our judiciary has a laugh and stop. People getting tested gun 2 months and get bail. Come and kill again. Bail again. Come and kill again. What country this is working? People, they ain't paying the national insurance. They duck it in line. They go in the state buying these things and they ain't paying the taxes and they still getting contracts, still getting jobs. It's not fair that honest people working hard, man. That's all I got to say this morning.
Yep, appreciate that, JJ. Yep, a lot of frustrations to go around.
Yeah. I mean, we're still a maturing nation, Chester. So when you hear people use the word corruption, we're still working our way through post-colonization, right? We're literally still in that phase, if you ask me. I don't think we've graduated from that phase yet. Some countries have, right? Some countries that were colonized have kind of grown and developed and improved, and I think we're improving. We're improving, but we still have a ways to go with.
I just
again,
sometimes
with our structure and the way we operate as a country and as a people as well, not only from a political leadership standpoint, but from just an everyday citizen standpoint. When you step back and just watch means operate, sometimes, boy, you're like, "Motto, okay, we got some work to do."
Yep. Yeah, but there's a story in the paper about productivity now.
I saw that. I like it. I like that it's at the very least there is some focus, and it seems to be some genuine focus on what it means to be productive, how it impacts the national progression of the country. But again, like the Shanty Dons, boy, that's a big one. That is a big one, Chester.
Yeah.
From a national standpoint.
It's true.
I admire the minister and the other folks who are driving the charge, and I will follow it. I would like to see where this goes. I hope there's an actual desire to bring about, real improvement and lasting improvement in this area. It would be very, very beneficial as technology and the world becomes smaller and smaller.
Yep. Let's take some more calls. We got calls coming in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Yes, a pleasant good morning, Chester, and good morning to your guest. Is that Farrell?
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Farrell, I want to respectfully disagree with you when you said that it is an evolution or process or whatever. The other day there was a headline in one of the dailies talking about a transgender woman who was deported from the U.S. She never knew the Bahamas. I think she went over there when she was 2. Right? Is the U.S. a country of laws?
Yeah, I mean, I think they try to be. Are they perfect? I don't think so.
Listen, she was there illegally after 45 years. She was picked up, put on a plane, and brought back to a place to which she said she never even knew. These people come into our countries. We are a country of laws. Okay, they knowingly broke our laws, and it's not just them. It's we as a country, we as a government. If we are a country of laws, it seems like there are only laws for certain people and there are no laws for others. Okay, and so irregardless of whatever it is, we need to follow the law. That's why our country is in such a mess when it comes to obeying small laws in our country. Because we see people coming in seemingly doing whatever they want to do, and there's no retribution. People drive however they want to drive on our streets. They litter, and So if we say that we are a country of laws, then we need to be a country of law enforcement, so that we can have an ordered society. Right now, my brother, our society is very chaotic. There seems to be no structure. Everybody's just seeming to do whatever they want to do in our country. And it's up to the government to set the standards. And the courts, which is supposed to be the enforcement of the laws, they need to do their part, enforce the laws, hand out the penalties so people can know.
Yeah, Cole, I agree with you. I agree with you, but it's
say that
also...
we are a country of laws, but we are a country who enforce the law, and the government itself need to obey the very laws that they pass. That's why we have so much problem in our society today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with the caller. We do have, again, like I said, we're still a developing and maturing nation, and we do have quite a bit of work to do in those areas, Shasta. But and of course, leadership. Everything begins and ends, fails and succeeds with leadership, right? All comes down to leadership. But as citizens as well, we have an obligation. We're leaders in our own homes. We may be leaders in our community, our church community, our work community. So we also have a responsibility as well to do our best to follow the laws and allow the systems that we have in place to work. I think that's also a responsibility laid upon every citizen of the country, not just the government, right? Not just the politicians or the police force or whomever else, right? So it has to be a collective effort, Chester, right?
That's true.
We can't sit there and just wait. I ain't gonna do right until they do right. That is hypocritical. That speaks to integrity, a person's integrity from the beginning, right? So we all have an obligation.
This is why everybody's having the conversation, right? But it doesn't seem to be changing. And people will tell you, if you listen to Guardian Radio from day one to now, y'all still talking about the same things that haven't changed. And because you've been on here for a while.
Change takes time. Change takes will, right? Political will, citizenry will, individual will.
And that's why governments keep changing.
Yeah, it's not easy. It is.
Some things are easy, let's not give governments a buy.
I'm not giving them a pass. No way.
Because there's some things that are easy, and even those things ain't changing.
No, I think some things easy to start, Chester, right? You can say, okay, it's easy to say we're going to take this approach or that approach, or we're going to change this law, or try to enforce this law. I think some things are easy to theoretically start. But now to drive and to be consistent with and to bring about real national change, man, sometimes that takes 20, 30, 40 years, right? Of pure commitment and will from the persons who, who are committed to driving it. So it is not. I used to think, I used to be on the outside thinking, boy, why they don't do this, why they don't do that. But when you start to better understand the moving parts that are involved, Chester,
yeah,
you see why some countries excel at a faster rate, and why some countries take a bit longer, and then some countries don't move. Some countries actually go backwards.
Yeah.
Right. We have there are many examples around the world of these different models.
I'm glad he mentioned traffic, because when I was in Nigeria earlier this year, I gotta say Abuja, because people like, oh, which part? Lagos? And I'm like, apparently they're two different beasts. But anyway, I feel like the traffic situation is the same in Africa, if you ask me. But the way those people drive over there, I'm surprised a lot of people ain't falling down dead from stress. I was stressed as a passenger, but I was sitting in cars and going through traffic over there, and I was like, Lord Jesus, please do not let Nassau, because I can't say the Bahamas, traffic turn into what I see here. And when I came back, I realized, no, it's already there. The things that people do on the road, especially early in the morning, going to work, as if they're never going to reach in the little bit of traffic that we have here. They just do the most absurd things. They're ready to wreck both of y'all cars to get out in front of you.
Well, not only wreck cars, bring out possible bodily harm, and even loss of life to other folks. I mean, it's, but keep in mind, Chester, I always remind folks of this. They will not drive like that in the US when they go to visit. I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care how late they are to get back to the airport or return the rental car. They will generally follow the laws of the road in the US. Yeah. So they can do it. All of us know how to follow laws.
But
right, it's just knowing that there may not be any repercussions.
Right, and there's no enforcement.
That's what. Again, there's that, and that's the problem of lack of enforcement.
I've seen people making 3 lanes in an obvious 2-lane road right there off the highway, and the police will just drive by. And I've seen it happen because they got to use the road every day. The police don't even stop and say, "What are y'all doing?" They just drive by.
I haven't seen much. I usually it's kind of exciting when you see someone try to circumvent the law on the road, and there's like a speed cop or a police car. I've seen them actually turn their sirens and go and grab that, or go after that person.
Well,
right.
I wish it happened more often, because I don't see it. And I was thinking to myself, boy, if you tired of paying road traffic and insurance and everything, just go get a bike. Because ain't none got license plates. And them fellas do whatever they want on the street.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Enforcement is tough. It's tough. And it's needed. It's needed.
If you tired of that bill you got to pay every year, go get yourself a bike. You could skip that bill.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have license. You can skip that bill too. Let's try to take some more of these calls. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning, Chester. Thanks for taking my call, Poppy, and good day.
Hey,
Mr. Goff, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, Mom, Papa. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Goff, you say sometimes it takes 40 years for things to change.
Well, for you to see the end result, or to see some actual tangible, measurable change, right? It can take an entire generation at times. But again,
whoa, that's a long time. That's bad. That's a mental problem, or that's bad-minded, or people who think they're entitled or don't understand. Well, how you like it? I mean, I know some things take long, right? But you can imagine important things to take 40, 30 years? A whole generation, you say?
Could you imagine if we had started 40, 50 years ago with certain initiatives, right? Like other countries, where we'd be right now?
I think maybe our challenge, I don't want to use the word problem, might be we have to maybe keep changing the personalities, the people who we put in charge to do certain things, until we get it right. Until we get the right
some people will tell you that's
some people will tell you
that. Huh? That ain't always. Some people will tell you that's not always the best approach either. Is keep
you read
changing
the story with Chester right yesterday, what Mr. Felix Stubbs said with the Permanent Secretary?
I did not.
You did not? Maybe Chester could give you a copy so you could reach up. That's another thing. You got to know how to move these people if things ain't being what effective or if things ain't happening. Life's too short for that, man. A whole generation. Chester.
Yes, sir.
I think somewhere online they were saying that there is, like how they have a day for this, a day for that. Internationally, people are to be celebrating us being kind.
Mm-hmm.
I think every day we should be kind, but I mean, for the day, if you don't mind, I listened to the news yesterday. I don't know if you read it in the papers already. The southeastern branch of the Governor's Club in New Providence in Nassau here, they had come up with a donation for the Jamaican brothers and sisters to send something over there for them.
Right.
And I congratulate all the Bahamians, all the organization, everybody who's trying to get together, because like I always say, that could have been us. You know what I mean? I feel like they block it for us, like how we block it for a lot of people with Dorian, although Dorian care on bad and take a lot of lives. I feel it for the Jamaican people, and I think if there's anything we could do, let's do it as fast as possible, because they're in need right now. I understand, Sadie Curtis Primary School, I see my children school them, they're getting cases of water and stuff, so I think that's good. I don't know if the whole Ministry of Education doing it. I just waiting now to hear my good president of the Christian Council and his council over here in the Bahamas. We have a lot of churches, maybe not as much as Jamaica, but maybe a little offering or something, that, offering or something from all the churches, them, and then we could donate it to give it to our Bahamian government to give to the Jamaican government. I think it's a good thing how the schools, them, trying to get water, and they say bring a canned good too, so we could do canned good and water and stuff like that. I mean, I know that people don't really use too much canned goods over there. There's certain canned goods to Jamaican people, but they really go to the back of the yard into the farm to get their things, them fresh. So I know they'll appreciate everything we do. Hats off to all the Bahamian organization. And the Defense Force boat, I understand, they loaded down to carry. I don't know what the hold-up is, and I ain't sure if they're gone yet, but I just want to encourage them to see how fast they could get over there to get them things to Jamaica, because Jamaican people really need it now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Let's try to get through some more of these calls before we got to go to the news. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend. Caller, you there? Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Yeah, good morning, Chester. Good morning, Farrell.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on with you this morning, man?
What you saying? What happened?
Man, I'm listening to you. All right. The Bahamas is 52 years old, Farrell.
Yes, sir.
You could imagine us being 52. Are we still young? Are we still young and developing? Immature.
52 is just a number, man. You got a bunch of immature adults as well. What you talking about? That's just a number, man. That don't determine maturity or not in the national development standpoint and perspective.
Okay. We always talk about that. We've been talking about this national development plan. This is exactly what happens when you run a situation ad hoc. You don't have a plan. If you want to build a wall, Farrell, you need to get a plan.
No, I agree with you. I was very disappointed we didn't adhere to the National Development Plan. I thought that was one of the best initiatives we've done nationally in a long time, but they've shelved it. So I don't know where that stands.
Okay, Farrell. If I want to go right now and apply for a worker, I need to satisfy some minimum standards. One, I need to prove that I have a place for these people to live, this person or persons to live.
But first, you got to prove you have a need.
I don't get that.
I say first, you got to prove you have a need for them.
Okay, perfect. Now, what we have here, we have persons who came on work permit, supposed to be on work permit, and they don't have anywhere to live. That's what we are saying. They don't have anywhere to live. Now, when you're building a country, you're only addressing the social and the economic situation through legislation, policy, and program. That's how you build. Only two parts of government, the social and the economic. Firstly, you have to factor into, when you're preparing a budget, you need to know exactly how many persons are in the Bahamas. If you want a realistic budget that can work. When you don't have that, you're all over the place. You're running into a lot of incidental things you didn't plan for, things you didn't know, because you just didn't know. But here it is now. We have leaders who would have been fully knowledgeable of what JJ talked about the contract, but we call it a proper work exchange program. If your left hand is going to be corrupt and your right hand is going to be open to bribes, you cannot get nothing done. If you have persons, who visited that hospital, when you're giving out these work permits, you're giving out citizenship, you need to find out how many bed space you have, how many classroom space you have if persons have children. There's a need for this particular job? You have persons on work permits now who own grocery stores, who own shops, who own this, who own that. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Singapore is a prime example. They gained their independence almost around the same time. But the leader had a plan and a vision. But you can't say you want to run, you want to control this thing, and you have no vision, you have no plan. And now, 52 years later, when many of them are old now and on pension, this is what we have. And you're saying we're still young and we're developing? It cannot work that way, man. You know this. We know this. But we allow these things to foster now. Look at what we have.
Carla, I love that you brought up Singapore. I'm a supporter of what they did. And you're right. We had the same opportunity at around the same time. Remember, he had very little opposition. He made it a point. But he had a very, very clear, fair, equitable plan for his country and his citizenship and his citizenry, right? But he had zero opposition. One party, one leader led Singapore through its development for about 35, 40 years. So I just want to put that out there, sir. Huge difference from party politics that we've had.
Yeah, but then whatever he did intentionally and with a plan and with a purpose. But then, so what are you saying? If that is what he did, then what did our leaders do? They did the opposite. Because this is what we have. They did the opposite. So you cannot just give people a pass and just say, well, we're young. Because there's nothing. Could you build on their immigration policies right now? You can't build on that. Could you build on their housing program? You can't build on that. You have to start over, basically. Over. After 52 years, after we get caught up in this situation. I mean, it's just embarrassing to see where we are as a country, 400,000 people. DeSantis is the governor of Florida. Yeah, 40 million people to manage. You can't manage 400,000? You got to be kidding me, man. Like, this is something you can manage on one hand. But this is if you have a plan and a vision. But it's just embarrassing to see where we are as a country.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm trying to get to some of these text messages before we go to the news. This person said, ask the Prime Minister, he stayed campaigning in the shanty towns. I don't know what you're talking about. This person says, enforcement, the Bahamas issues for decades. Just like the saying goes, the poor will always be among us, so will the shanty towns. Nope. This person says, where do the people in the shanty towns go? They go to pay rent, mortgage, and utilities like the rest of us. And for those who truly can't afford housing, this is where successive governments are to blame with the affordable housing crisis. And Russell Island, if people have nowhere to run on a small key, how does the problem exist for decades? Sounds like someone is lobbying for gentrification. Hello, election season. Well, that's what I was saying about Russell Island. I don't understand the whatever. This person said Google Earth is not real time. That's right. Chester, when these shanty towns are broken down, where are the people going? Good question. No idea. This person says a shanty town is not a legally approved structure by the Ministry of Works, so they should be automatically taken down. Other than that, we should all build whatever, wherever, and whenever, all over the place, be real. And some people are doing that as well. But like Farrell said, you got to give people some grace. Good morning. Russell Island is Spanish Wells. Not saying that phrase. Why do you have to say that? That's the reason why. Okay, I'm not reading the rest of that. My teachers are having issues of non-renewal of work permits. These are annual documents, and by the time teachers get them, 3/4 of the year is done, and the documents soon expire, and that inhumane cycle is repeated. I think that text needs context. We are not a country of reality if we refer to a male as she, female, because they want us to. Okay. When you're young, your parents tell you to marry a good man, marry a good woman, not find anything and just go multiply. We need to get closer to countries that can actually help us, because as far as I can see, we can't handle the little 400,000 we have. The rich man needs to stop bringing... What? Bringing more slaves. We have enough Bahamian slaves here suffering. We have to protect our people, not open the floodgates to the opposite of heaven. Look at the corruption. We are fraudulent.
Boy,
everything.
Some translation.
Yeah, it does. This person says, don't know if you listened to Naughty Show yesterday, but a candidate irresponsibly suggested that during rush hour we allowed backed up traffic to use left and right lanes after the disaster of turn left on red. How can someone even speak of tolerance for this? We know what happened. Will people take license any minute of the day to make single lane traffic dual lane and act like they are in the right? That's the boy. They sure as act like they in the right after doing foolishness. I can tell you that. Chester, I really think the paying rent excuse no longer stands. They're simply not something these people, they just start over because they don't wish to properly address it. A simple example, the burning coal, it's illegal to have drugs, but not to have coal that was illegally made. Go figure. Oh, okay. In the story of the Bahamian being sent back, the article said 40 others were with her. Were they sent here, and are they also Bahamian? I don't know much about that story, to be honest. If I born and raised Bahamian was to start to build on my purchased property without a permit, I'll bet Ministry of Works officials would be there trying before I pour the foundation. I remember many years ago when my aunt built a wall in front of her property, she was instructed to break it down right away. Now look what's happening. Illegals are building entire communities. Boy, I tell you. Yeah.
Been happening.
I was going to say.
50-year-old thing. This didn't just come about.
I was going to say, when you try and follow the processes is when you find yourself in roadblocks.
Hold on now. What you advocating for?
I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just
right there,
I'm telling you the reality that people face, right? The things that are laid out before you to get things done is often the things that cause the most roadblocks, which is why people don't use them.
Yeah, well, that's a bad place to be at, Chester.
And that's why the caller said things are embarrassing. I put out a call yesterday. I'd give $100 to anybody who could tell me before the end of the show yesterday how a small business owned by a Bahamian can get concessions. Nobody tried. And I don't think it was because nobody wanted $100. I think it's because it is impossible to do easily.
I could use 100. I let you know shortly.
Yeah, if you find out before the end of the show, let me know. I'd love to know the
drop it on the light bill.
The president says morning shantytowns are being broken down to cause these persons to buy into affordable housing by the government. This is the new. Well, but see, it doesn't work that way. Because to get affordable housing, you need certain things. Yeah. One of those things I think you need to be is Bahamian. I don't know if somebody on a work permit could get government affordable housing. So, no, I don't think that's why they're doing it.
I mean, but just even affordable housing is relative, right? To what you're
right.
making.
No,
okay,
yeah.
So we have to take a step further back, right? I mean, so
right. Who is affordable housing for?
Yeah, and is it really affordable based off of the income of certain folks? I'm not sure.
And these people don't need a house, for the most part. Some of them ain't supposed to be here to stay. They don't need a house to live in, to pay a mortgage for. This person says, good morning, the Bahamas is a disgrace after 60 years. All that. From American and British influence to low-life Caribbean and African and what? Anyway, if that hurricane had hit Nassau,
argue with that. I
don't know what they're trying to say.
We're not a disgrace. I mean, we're actually, and it's all relative.
They're calling everything a disgrace.
Y'all don't come for me, please. But the Bahamas isn't doing too bad relative to our counterparts.
That person, let me tell you, that person hates themselves and they hate this region.
Yeah,
because everything was a disgrace in that particular text.
We have made considerable progress in certain areas, but absolutely there's still some gaps that we need to desperately address, and it's going to take a lot of political and individual will. But we've come away.
Yeah. We got to go to the news break, and Morning Blend will return right after.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Now at 8:23, it's time for your final look at this morning's weather, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. There are no public warnings in effect at this time. Your general situation: a stationary front lingering across the southeast Bahamas will maintain showers and isolated thunderstorms in the forecast today, mainly affecting the southeast and portions of the central Bahamas. In contrast, the remainder of the islands will experience drier, cooler, and more stable conditions. This stationary front is expected to weaken by Friday, reducing shower activity across the southeast Bahamas into the weekend. Meanwhile, a slight chance of some brief passing showers are possible across the northern Bahamas on Friday into early Saturday as the tail end of a weak cold front moves into the Atlantic. High pressure over the southeastern U.S. will bring gentle to fresh breezes across the island chain through the weekend and into the start of the work week. There is a high risk of rip currents and rough surf affecting coastlines of the central and southeast Bahamas. Beachgoers and swimmers in these areas are urged not to enter Atlantic waters and should exercise extreme caution when entering sheltered areas. For the northern Bahamas, weather partly cloudy this morning, becoming partly sunny by this afternoon and mostly fair tonight. A less than 10% chance of an isolated shower. Winds north to northeast at 10 knots or less. Your high temperature today 77 degrees Fahrenheit, your low 66 degrees Fahrenheit. For the northwest Bahamas, weather partly cloudy this morning, becoming variably cloudy by this afternoon and mostly fair tonight. A 10% chance of an isolated shower. Winds northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts. Your high temperature 79 degrees Fahrenheit, your low 73 degrees Fahrenheit. For the central Bahamas, weather partly cloudy to cloudy through tonight. A 10 to 20% chance of a brief passing shower. Winds northeasterly at 15 to 20 knots. Your high temperature 82 degrees Fahrenheit, your low 75 degrees Fahrenheit. For the southeast Bahamas, weather partly cloudy to cloudy with occasional overcast periods through tonight. A 30 to 40% chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms for you. Winds northeasterly at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Your high temperature 82 degrees Fahrenheit, your low 75 degrees Fahrenheit. No tropical cyclone activity is expected through the next 7 days. Your outlook for tomorrow: northern and northwest. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, variably cloudy, becoming mostly fair at night. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, there is a 10% chance of brief passing showers. For the central and southeast Bahamas, a 20 to 30% chance of showers or an isolated thunderstorm. Winds northern for the northwest and northern and northwest Bahamas, northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots. For the central and southeast Bahamas, northeasterly at 15 to 20 knots. Your high temperature 84 degrees Fahrenheit, your low 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And your forecast for Saturday: weather variably cloudy to partly cloudy, a mix of sun and clouds. For the southeast Bahamas, there's a 20 to 30% chance of shower or an isolated thunderstorm. Elsewhere, a 10 to 20% chance of a brief passing shower. Winds northern for the northern and northwest Bahamas, northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts. For the central and southeast Bahamas, northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 knots by Saturday evening. Your high temperature 84 degrees Fahrenheit, your low 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's been your final look at today's weather, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Looking to paint? Your local Sherwin-Williams store has top quality paints, expert advice, and everyday discounts to help you save. Only at Sherwin-Williams. Time for a look at traffic now, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. And also brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Looking over at your hot spots now. Lots of traffic on Sir Milo Butler Highway. Traffic extending past the Fire Trail roundabout. Looks like it's moving a little now. Not so bad as you traverse east and west there by the roundabout at Tonic Williams Darling Highway and Sir Milo Butler. Some traffic headed eastbound on John F. Kennedy Drive as you approach the six-legged roundabout there. Traffic on Gladstone Road looking pretty bad for you. Backed up past Fire Trail Road. Slow going at Rocky Pine Road as you head north there. Lots of traffic there if you are headed in that direction. Blue Hill Road as you approach Independence Drive and the Big Chicken roundabout. Lots of traffic on the hill there. Some traffic at Carmichael and Blue Hill Road. Mostly there where you approach Soldier Road, where the road narrows. On the Eastern Road, lots of traffic before you approach Fox Hill Road, and some traffic right after. Slows down and then starts to pick back up as you get to Village Road. Traffic building there by Go Slow Bend as you approach Saunders Beach, but not as bad as it could be at the moment. Those are your traffic hot spots at the moment. Your traffic brought to you by RBC Royal Bank and NUA Insurance and Brokers. This segment of Morning Blend brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. NUA Insurance. Agents and brokers, whether you're on the road or planning your next move, we've got you covered. Visit nuainsurance.com for an instant motor quote or stop by your nearest branch today.
Cash rebate, none other than Chevrolet. Test drive the classy LTZ trimmed Colorado truck, or the Sporty Trax RS, or the family-friendly Captiva SUV, or the fuel-efficient Groove. Whatever your choice, you'll be riding safe with a 3-year bumper-to-bumper warranty from a dealer that has been around for over 85 years. Get down to Nassau Motor Company on Shirley Street and select a model that gives you $1,500 cash rebate. Chevrolet, built with the innovative technology you trust.
Community for quite a while. Serving since 2021. This time around is Brian Brown. B is for Brian, B is for Brown. Golden Eyes and the FNM taking over town. B is for Brian, B is for Brown. Golden Eyes and the FNM taking over town. Brian Brown.
This message has been brought to you by the Free National Movement.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Mom, the Christmas cookies are ready. We leave them right here under the tree for
for Santa or for CIBC Caribbean?
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Under the distinguished patronage of Thelma Hanna, Louis Clare Jr. presents Emmanuel Has Come, an evening concert celebrating the birth of Christ our Savior. It all happens one night only, November 22nd, 7:30 p.m. at the Hillview Seventh-day Adventist Church, located on Tonique Williams-Darling Highway. Admission is free, so come out and be blessed. An offering will be lifted. This ad has been sponsored by Screws and
At
Fasteners.
CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Calling all Bahamian entrepreneurs. Get ready for the Entrepreneurship Think Tank, one of the Tourism Development Corporation's signature programs that provides both information and direction to new and developing businesses. Expect a lineup of industry experts and keynote speakers whose keen insights, strategies, and real-world experiences can help you take your business to the next level. Come on down to the Entrepreneurship Think Tank on Thursday, November 13th, 2025, from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the National Training Agency.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we can sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Don't wait for a storm to arrive. Stock up on hurricane supplies, make home repairs, purchase a generator, and more this hurricane season with a Fidelity personal loan. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson, Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Looking for the perfect Sunday outing? The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas is now open and free to all Bahamian citizens and residents. Spend the day admiring the evolution of Bahamian art. Soak in the natural beauty of our art park and take a little piece of culture home with you by browsing our gift shop. Whether you're an art lover or just curious, we've got something here for everyone. Bring your family, your partner, or your friends and let the art inspire you this Sunday and beyond. The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, our home for Bahamian art.
Bahamian families, mark your calendars. On Sunday, November 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at the British Colonial Hilton. Meet 13 of Canada's top CAIS accredited boarding schools. Join our schools for a casual yet informative Canadian reception directly following the Betty Walker Fair. Discover how CAIS boarding schools offer small classes, personalized support, and a safe, inclusive community that prepares students for success at top global universities. Don't miss it. Sunday, November 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at the British Colonial Hilton. Janae's Chesapeake Road Christmas Wonderland is open. Get up to 40%, yes, 40% off decorations this season. Christmas trees in a variety of sizes and colors, and decorated by choosing from the largest variety of Christmas decorations in town. Musical LEDs and laser lights, ornaments, lighted angels and Santas, garlands, wreaths, tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Oh, the array of flowers and picks choices. And don't forget the toys, they're 40% off. Up to 40% off things Christmas at Janae's. Restrictions apply. Check out some selections online at www.janaes.com. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town. There I met a gal named Ada Payne. Outside in the field, cotton cane. She looked so good, my nature rise, my Lord. When I look into her big brown eyes, I said, look what you got get when you're tired of what you got. Look what you got get when you're tired of what you got. That's all with a woman, she's good as a flat. Look what you got get when you're tired of what you got.
Good morning. Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robards, filling in for Dwight Strachan, along with Farrell Goff. And we were supposed to have some guests. Not sure what happened there, but we'll continue our conversation that went in many directions after we got into the Shantytown issue. Hey, Farrell?
Many different directions.
as to be expected.
Just what I thought was fascinating was listening to you talk about the traffic and the hot spots. I'm like, it's 8:20. Everywhere's a hot spot in Nassau right now.
Yeah, no, that.
I was like, how do you determine what is hot, more of a hot spot than another area, right? And around rush hour, boy, that's another issue, right? Is traffic in Nassau.
Some is like hotter than others. Let me read some more of these text messages while we have some time. Shantytowns will be with us forever because what's the point in breaking down them if the government are not dealing with locking these people for breaking our laws? I'm reading this text verbatim, by the way. importantly, not returning those who are illegal to their country. Instead, they are patting them on the backs and giving out work permits and permanent residency like candy. Okay. You know
Yeah,
something we don't know?
it's a complex issue, Chester, like we said earlier, right? I mean, it's our economy has depended on outside resources and support for I think probably from its modern day inception, right? So that's not going to change.
Yeah.
Now, how do we do that? One of your callers earlier said we can look at a more structured work for hire program where persons are brought in temporarily and we have everything we need to support them. They work out their time and then they head back, right? That's an idea, but that when you're talking about, I think none of us really appreciate how much of our economy is propped up by outside support.
Yeah.
That's really, and I don't think we necessarily even want to admit that, Chester,
Yeah.
because then you start to better understand why these on the fringe things exist.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a text that came in that I'm not going to read, but I have to address it for the rest of our people out there who still say silly things that come from my grandmother's day and maybe even before, right? We do not address people who do work for you as my anything, right? No, I hope you don't go anywhere around the world and say, oh, my Bahamian coming to clean the yard today, right? So don't say it about any other person from somewhere else, right?
Or my British engineer.
Yeah.
Or my British this, right?
My
American
my American coming to fix my roof today.
Exactly. Because we have a lot of that going on, by the way. So.
My whatever suggests that you own something. And you don't own these people, you employ them. Right?
Yeah. Again, that's a generational thing that happened a long time. When I think about my grandmother and my grandparents, that was kind of a thing that was very much accepted in their day and time. And I just think it's been passed down, culturally and generationally. But it is something that we need to phase out. Yes, Chester.
Yeah. I mean, somebody could hand me a bag of dirt. I'm not gonna take it. So. Things that are being passed down to you guys that you know are not right, maybe you shouldn't accept it. How about that? Okay, this person says, hey, Chester, look around this country. Are you going to brush the state of the country not being disgraceful? I mean, there are some disgraceful things, yes. But your first text was not readable, so why you come with these things? We know the things that we see as low-hanging fruit that we want fixed that are often not addressed, right? The hospital we've been talking about for days now, right? So we know, right? Like Farrell, you mentioned things that can't sometimes take years to progress. We know some of those things, but A&E construction going on there. That shouldn't have taken years. You know what I mean? Like certain things we just know should work.
Yeah, Chester. But again, when I sometimes try to add context, it doesn't necessarily mean that I take one side or the other, right? I'm just adding context to a conversation, right? Or perspective. Like our homes, we all have a budget to manage, right? Look at it from an individual home standpoint, right? All of us have projects that we need to repair, whether it's our car, or area of our house, or whatever it may be, right? Or some bill that we know we need to put some money on, but we keep procrastinating because we have to utilize as best we can the funds that we have in a way that allows us to continue moving forward without everything falling down, right? And someone from the outside may be like, why you don't fix that car? Why he continue to drive that? He's a big time this and big time that and he driving that car. Well, probably because on the outside it looks like that, but on the inside there's some other priorities. Believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe that may take precedence, and some of my funds are being directed and channeled in those directions until I have a surplus, and then I can finally get to my car. But sometimes it's not easy for that. That takes a long time to happen. So while things may look very obvious on the outside, Chester, sometimes but that's why the government's being transparent. Freedom of Information Act, having access to details may allow the narrative to be a bit more clear. And believe it or not, some of your citizens may actually support what you're doing because they now have a better understanding, right? Opposed to leaving some out in the dark.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not always exactly as it seems.
All right.
Right? Budget is a serious thing, and like most households are challenged, most governments are challenged with the amount of money they bring in versus what they have to spend and what it takes to properly maintain and upkeep an entire nation, particularly one of islands spread all over the place.
Yeah. I was just told, Farrell, by someone that I didn't say it because I do not like the phrasing, but I'll say it because they said what they said, right? That the term "my Haitian" is a term of endearment. I was just told.
Yeah, I mean it may be, but a term
maybe
only can be. It has to be validated by all parties. It has to be validated by all parties.
It is not.
You would have to ask someone on the other side of that. When I say this,
if they feel endeared,
how do you feel? Yeah. How do you feel about it?
We they said
it makes me feel like you love me, you appreciate me, you value me as an equal human being and a partner in this journey.
That you'll never hire anybody else.
I highly doubt.
It's me and you. It's me and you for life.
If you took an objective survey and got objective responses from all parties involved, that it will be confirmed as a term of endearment.
I've never heard it said about any person from any other place. I will tell you no lie. But anyway,
our intentions are only one part of communication. Yeah. Okay, and that's not even the most important part. The most important part is how it's received by the other party. That is the most important part of communication. So just because I think I intended it to be a term of endearment doesn't necessarily mean it's received that way.
That's true.
Even if the person smiles and receives it, it doesn't necessarily mean that they like it. That they may like their job.
I imagine that it's never typically said to them or around them. But anyway. Let's take these calls coming in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Yes, I'd like to say good thanks for life,
Yes.
There's the saying, the cliche, by the sweat of your eyebrows you eat bread, right?
Yes.
So when we talk about how we need immigrant workers, right? See, I'd like to say that I believe in what you call it a customs and immigration union, right? Which would take care of all our other immigration problems, like our citizenship. Won't be in need because we'd be being our brother's keeper just by allowing them to come here to work. But then going on again, right? See, we talk about when we talk about in the public service how the old people won't retire, and you know what I mean, and so therefore the youngest can't get work. Right? It's the same way when you bring the immigrant in, they can't get, you know what I mean? They be replacing other people. Do you agree that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's the situation we got to deal with there. See, what we have is a system that a colonial system. You understand me? That have us in this, and it's a capitalist system. See, and we like to talk about national development plan. In the national development plan, we need a taxation plan, the proper taxation plan. When we decide to go socialist like Mandani and them, you had to talk about providing ride for the immigrant workers. How about free bus ride for all the workers? You understand what I'm saying? It's the system we live in, but it's capitalism, it's still slavery because every slave had a house. You agree? Every slave had food to eat, but what about the time off? They didn't have the time off. The slave master worked, but he worked counting his money, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. And he had more or less time off. So we got to be careful in what we do. You understand me? The system, we bring about we put on ourselves, because we will be reprobated mind. We be destroying our own self by the choices we make as a people.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's take this next call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Morning.
Yes, yeah. Okay, yeah, we do it to other nationalities. We don't just do it to the Haitians. We do it to the Cubans also. You ever had a Cuban maid before?
Nope.
Yeah, so if you have a Cuban maid, boy, she ain't leaving the house. You can lock that door. The furthest she could go is the food store. So we don't just do it to the Haitians.
You talking about? It must be something that I didn't know. What you talking about?
Huh? You know what you're talking about, right?
Are you talking about a phrase? Are you talking about a phrase? What you talking about?
Treatment, general treatment of how we.
No, general treatment, like enslaving people, like how we say, Haitian. No, boy, people say, Cuban, Filipino. When it comes to them mid, boy, people go on them.
Never heard that. So.
You never heard that before?
Never.
Boy, you trust me. You have a Cuban maid, she ain't going nowhere.
Okay. I don't know anything about that. Let's take this next call. What's going on? Good morning, caller.
Y'all holding on just the Cubans? No kidding.
Good morning, caller. You there?
Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
When I did insurance work, I learned that there are persons who leave lots and lots of money for specific conditions. Like if there's someone who have like 1 foot, they could apply for assistance and so forth. I am wondering, seeing that this immigration issue is one that we have a problem in dealing with, I don't know, maybe there's some outside forces that's pushing us in a certain direction and we just can't fight that back. Is it possible that we could seek out individuals who may have some money that we could access to assist with the things that we're trying to do to help our brothers and sisters who are a little less fortunate than we are? Now, it might be a condition where the money can't be given directly to a particular group of individuals because they've been known to steal the money. But is there any way that we could set up a framework? Because I know that there's money out there that we can access to assist with some of these problems that we're facing, but perhaps the governments are so corrupt, individuals don't want to do it. I remember there was a time when there was a company wanted to solarize BTVI, but happened to go through a crooked individual. They say, hey, the hell with it. And I think this is one of the problems facing this country and us getting assistance to assist with the conditions we are facing. How do you feel about this?
Yeah. No, you talking some truth there.
I wish challenges.
I wish.
I wish. Doing business.
But see, I wish some of these people would speak publicly about the things that they run into when dealing with politicians, right? Because I've heard stories as well along that line, but nobody comes and talks about it.
Well, there's a reason behind that, Chester. We live in a very small, the Bahamas is small, but Nassau is even smaller, right? So and then the circles that you may operate in on a business standpoint is even more smaller than that. So you have to be very careful. Unfortunately, it's the truth, Chester, because we're dealing with emotional people, adults that can take things a certain way, and they can have a tremendous amount of influence, unfortunately, over the fate and business affairs of certain industries, certain individuals, certain businesses. So you have to be very careful, Chester. So it's not that the whistleblowing thing. It's easier to do in a larger nation where you have multiple degrees of separation. In the Bahamas, you have no degrees. I go to the minister wrong me, and I go on the news and I say it, and I stand there and I expose myself, and now guess what? I may be blacklisted, not necessarily by the government, but maybe by that individual, or there may be some other repercussions down the road for me that I don't know that might majorly disrupt my life and my financial well-being. So what do? So I generally just take it. You just take it, and you either you tap out, like the guy said, if that's any truth to that with the solar project, or you try to work around it, or you give into it. You give into it. For business purposes,
I don't. But see, that's it. There, I don't want to be careful in my country, in my good.
You shouldn't have
in my
to.
good
Not
country.
You don't want to be.
I don't want to be careful.
Nobody should have to be careful and walk on eggshells while dealing with other, adults and politicians and business people. Nobody should have to, Chester. But again, we are where we are.
All right. Let's try to take this other call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning to you, Chester, and you, Farrell.
Morning.
Still a critical thinker. Let me just touch on 2 points. But those individuals keep asking about let's do this and let's do that. But the biggest problem we have is we don't have a conversation on the economy. We just have to look at how the economy has grown for the last 25 years and see if we've kept pace with the cost of inflation and other things, and will be a definitely no. Which brings us to this concept when we start talking about housing and immigration, is we use, and people use the word complex. But if you look at the word complex, it just simply means unorganized. Once you sort the parts, you'll start to see who's benefiting from what we consider fragile. Now, when you look at the thing, if you take complex and treat it as say, an electrical wiring, if you strip the wiring, then you can look. If you strip the cable, you begin to see the wiring, right? To see where each one leads to. And so you have this housing complex. How do we break it down? And so you had the minister in the House of Assembly gave you some numbers, but then it doesn't get to the root of what exactly each one and each problem is for us to begin to address it. And believe it or not, with the tools that we have today, these would be considered complex. It's not as complex as we perceive it to be. It just basically means that we just don't understand it. Wages in the Bahamas grew 2%. Property prices grew by 14%. What did the economy grow by? Around the same 2% or even negative. And so the question then becomes, what is the solutions you put to each? Now, if you look at a person trying to afford homes, and this is where you talk about the shantytown, basically what we have is we have pageantry. Because essentially what you do is you relocate the people, and they say we have thousands of people in these shantytowns. But in their relocation, you are not showing where you have the thousands of people, thousands of housing units for where they go. And then you use this 25,000 number. But if you take the time and look at that what I call a zombie figure, and begin to break it down, you will see it is not, there's no such, not in respect to that availability. Then comes the argument concerning, how do we build? How do we finance? How do people get mortgages? How do things? And that's where the new reality where we live in, because fintech has revolutionized financing options around the world. The problem is we're still using the same old methods, and you see even this in the arguments concerning the government when we start talking about changing our accounting methods. And for years we've been talking about, we could go from cash accounting to accrual accounting. And for 10 years we talk about it, and it should have taken 7 years for us to get there. And so the question we have is, are we really seeking to solve our problems? Are we continuously looking to eloquently and elaborately discuss what they are? For housing, respectfully, Chester, and I think maybe you should follow up on this from a business perspective, and I will have to direct you. But financing for housing, vacation, all of these things are so easy now in today's reality if we look beyond the cave. The shadows on the wall aren't real. Outside is some beautiful colors and pictures and things that we can actually utilize. And I think one of the people, where you spoke to Singapore concerning national development. And why is Singapore different than us? Purpose, deliberate. We chose to take a rental type position in our development. They decided to take an ownership and industrial aspect for their development. Not too late for the Bahamas, but I think we need to stop eloquently discuss the problems and begin to have intellectual discourse on how do we break them down into biteable, solvable problems. But you say, in ending, I say this: you cannot manage what you cannot measure, and you cannot measure what you refuse to acknowledge. Thank you so much.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Farrell, someone coming for $100.
Oh.
First of all,
they beat me to it. I needed that.
I don't know if they can win it. This person says, The person says, there's nothing wrong with saying my Haitian. My grandfather and father had a Haitian and said it to their face. They don't mind it. Yeah, okay, if you say so. The person says, so I guess we need Haitian packing women, butchers, tire shop workers, cooks in every restaurant, maids, waitresses, gardeners, yardmen, security guards, etc. So Bahamians just don't want those jobs, eh? Correct. Ding, 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 you won. Stop it. It is not a term of endearment. I wonder if that same texter in hindsight would consider my N-word as being a term of endearment of our forefathers. Yes, they probably would. And this person who's coming for my $100 says, can I get my $100? A well-known businessman who many consider a self-made man, he had a foreign white man front a business for him and a white woman front another for him. In 2013, he made a public statement that for 40 years, a Bahamian cannot succeed unless they have a different passport and a different hue. He has recently received, I don't know, this might give this person away, so I'm not going to say that. Well-known businesses that he used the funds he received from fund still known today. Here on Grand Bahama, he has whatever. Additionally, he owns whatever. Moral and method. Find a white foreigner and hire them to be your face, and you will also get the exemptions the others get. Keep it quiet for a generation, then confess and turn it over to your children. Feel free to wire me that $100. I mean, they didn't have to go through all that to say that.
Yeah, there's been a ton of successful Bahamian businesses that have been pushed and fronted by the local owner or a proprietor or the leader of that company that was of our hue. So yeah, I know that people have that impression that you.
So it was a joke. Clearly, they didn't win my $100, but that, I mean, that the point is, I mean, this happens. And it shouldn't be that a Bahamian needs to find a foreigner to help them move a process along. It shouldn't be that color makes a difference when you're looking at real estate, right? These things just shouldn't happen today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They shouldn't be a criteria.
No. And so
I don't know if they always are, Chester, but it's just doing business in certain places. It is very difficult. There are a lot of roadblocks. There are more roadblocks than there are avenues of support and access to funding and resources to help you with an idea or develop an idea and see it through fruition. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah. And many people are starting from zero. They have great ideas, but they have to start from zero because in our economy, a very expensive economy, sometimes you always at zero. You might have a good idea.
You might be starting from negative, Chester. Zero means that you kind of have what you need but now you got to go look for financing. If you don't have collateral, you can't get financing. How much Bahamians walking around here with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of land in their name or cash in the bank to be able to go to the bank and then say, I'd like to get a business loan and I'm going to secure it with X, Y, and Z. So I'm just saying a lot of Bahamians are starting from negative, believe it or not.
No, you're negative.
So it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. This person saying, "My hating my boss man." I don't understand. Oh, I know what they're saying. This person says, "Relax, Chester. Use my talk show host still." What? Huh? Know what they're talking about. That's Morning Blend for today. Up next, Morning Blend Business. Stick around. We should have an interesting guest for that show. I don't see them yet, but we'll be right back.
Teacher. Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Craving something with bold flavors? Introducing the new Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt, only at Wendy's. Enjoy our hot, juicy beef stacked with crispy applewood smoked bacon, savory sauteed portobello mushrooms, and drenched in our rich, melty cheddar cheese sauce, all on a warm, toasted bun. Gotta be craveable, gotta be Wendy's. Available for a limited time only.
Transform your home for less at Kelly's House and Homes Holiday Paint Sale now through Wednesday, December 24th. Enjoy 25% off house and spray paints plus 20% off paint supplies, except on net items. Our wide selection of paint colors is the perfect way to bring holiday cheer to your home. You'll also find the best selection of brushes, rollers, pans, glue, ladders, paint thinner, and more. So catch the holiday spirit and paint up for Christmas at Kelly's House and Homes Holiday Paint Sale, going on now through December 24th.
This time around, this time around, this time around, me girl with Brian Brown. This time around, this time around, this time around, me girl with Brian Brown. This baby, he got so much to give. Educational program, young people and the kids. You ain't gotta be no whiz. Brian handling business, all kind of things in the East. Senior citizens, hey!
Paid for by the Free National Movement.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
Calling all Bahamian entrepreneurs. Get ready for the Entrepreneurship Think Tank, one of the Tourism Development Corporation's signature programs that provides both information and direction to new and developing businesses. Expect a lineup of industry experts and keynote speakers whose keen insights, strategies, and real-world experiences can help you take your business to the next level. Come on down to the Entrepreneurship Think Tank on Thursday, November 13th, 2025, from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the National Training Agency.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robards along with Farrell Goff. And you think the guests heard my voice on the radio, Farrell, and they were like, nah. We want Dwight. File, you still there with me?
Yes, sir. Right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna take it that way. That's the way I'm gonna take it for the day. That people didn't come on the show today because of me.
I mean, you're going to take it personal?
Yeah. That's what I've decided to do for the day.
And who knows what may have happened to them, right? The type of roadblock they may have encountered this morning trying to make it to the show and, showing up for you, Chester.
Yeah.
But now you take it personal.
Yeah, but I've been taking something personally for a long time, so I figured, today might be.
Yes. Say your mouth long all day. You snapping on everybody today. Everybody wondering what's wrong with Chester. What type of mood he in?
Yeah, that sounds like the right disposition for the day.
Par for the course, man. Par for the course.
Oh, boy. So until I think maybe the guests might be here, but I think they went downstairs to check. But let's talk some businessy stuff. In the meantime, the joke about the $100. Well, it wasn't a joke yesterday. I ain't giving nobody $100 today, but still nobody has figured out how a properly run small business in this country can get concessions. I've been told that you have to be a business that's 2 years old or less in order to get some concessions. I don't know who was told that after the government put the policy in place.
What type of concessions are you talking about?
Customs duty exemptions is probably the big thing. Because how much money you spend, if you bring in items in for your small business, how much money are you going to spend on duties? Because you got VAT on the duty. I don't even think you get a VAT exemption, so you still got to pay the 10%. But at least you might not have to pay 45% on something that cost you a bunch of money in the first place. Right? But yeah,
I'm sure there's someplace you can go online.
There used to be someplace.
Government body that
I could tell you
would oversee such things. I don't know if it's. I don't know.
Let me tell my story. Before anybody tried to take my $100 again.
So we could really understand why you mad and got this chip on your shoulder. Please
yes. So one day I went to Ministry of Finance. I said, "Hey, how does one get the small business exemption stuff?" They said, "Oh, we don't do that at Ministry of Finance anymore. It's all online." Okay, fair enough. So my gateway does have the portal where you can apply for customs duty exemptions. Yes? So you go to that portal now. I don't know if they've taken it down since the last time I tried. And you cannot complete the form. You know why? Because they don't use it anymore. It's not the way to get small business exemption. But the form's still online for some reason. And it's not, the page itself is not disabled. But you cannot complete it because you can't get one thing. You could actually go through the process, but there's one thing you can't finish that'll allow you to complete the form. So you just spend your time there if you don't know that this thing doesn't exist anymore. Wasting time.
If that's still indeed the case, did you report it to them?
Yeah. Because they then told me, oh, they don't use it anymore. That's not the way to go. You need to go to customs. So then I say, okay, I guess you have to go to what's the customs thing again? Whatever the customs thing is called.
Click to
clear. Right?
Click to clear.
So I say, okay, you must have to go to click to clear. So they have something that looks like it's correct that you should go through to possibly get exemptions. That failed because I put dashes in a number. The field doesn't tell you that you're doing it wrong. And you can go and click all the way through. And then I get an email from Click to Clear saying, oh, your application failed because you put dashes in a number. Hello? Anybody out there listening to me? Yeah. The reason the form failed, and I got a reply from Customs saying that your application was not accepted, was because I didn't put dashes, because I put dashes in a number that has dashes from the government agency. The government agency number has dashes. The field does not.
But the most important thing is, the most moving thing is that you weren't prompted not to, right? I mean, I guess there was an opportunity there, or there should have been some.
So the field should tell you.
Simple asterisk that says, just use numbers.
Or the field shouldn't accept the number as is. I mean, we do these things every day.
Yeah,
there are forms online everywhere. The form should not allow you to put in something that it's not going to want or that customs doesn't want, right? So that didn't work. So I had to call someone, and I said, hey, how does this small business exemption thing work? Oh, let me put you in touch with somebody. Okay. Finally got in touch with that person. I need to get a broker to do some custom stuff so that I could then send something to somebody so that and I was like, here we go again. This is how they frustrate Bahamian businesses into, they say most businesses fail in the first 5 years? This is how they frustrate you into failing. I mean, and some people will go through it. I'm one of those people who, you know what, I'd rather find the money to pay customs. But this is probably what they want. They don't actually imagine all the small businesses that start within a year that they have to give up customs revenues on.
Yeah, so Chester, I'll tell you, at one point, some time ago, I also believe that things were intentionally done towards me or towards the citizens by the government, and as you move around and you exist and observe other countries and how they operate as well, you realize that a lot of it isn't intentional. The intention was actually a positive one, right? To create a unified channel that folks can go through, and the brokers and the clients and the government and everybody can then have real-time access to this information that's being digitally uploaded. So we're getting rid of paper, we're getting rid of the transfer of cash from hand to hand, minimizing misappropriation of funds happening. And so the intent was probably, I'm telling you, the intent was one, to modernize and make the process more efficient. Now, in doing so, and I've existed in digital environments for a very long time, it's constant upgrading. That's why Apple will send you the upgrade to your iPhone, and Samsung the same, and all these different apps will upgrade periodically because there's always going to be gaps found, and so the important thing is not just rolling out the technology, it's also the upkeep, right? It's the constant managing of it, getting the feedback from the users, incorporating that feedback into tangible changes that makes it more efficient for everyone. So I think that's an important step in our growth as well. When we digitize and we move to the technology solutions, is now the maintenance of them and it takes constant upgrading, right? There are going to be gaps found as we use them and we dig deeper into them, and new technology that comes out that you want to incorporate that makes it even easier. So I'm telling you, the intention was probably a good one. I wholeheartedly support the digitization.
I guarantee
the attempted digitization of a lot of our governmental processes,
but
like my gateway, click to clear. In theory, these are all very, very good steps in the right direction.
My gateway is amazing. I'm telling you that
it's handling the gaps, right? That's something that we got to jump on. And
when
we get feedback from a Chester or from someone else who literally found a legitimate gap or loophole, we have to move quickly to close it. And technology provides that if you have the proper people and systems in place.
My thing is, and I call it intentional because there was the availability on my gateway to do it, and they ended it. They stopped it, right? And a very smart Bahamian economist, Therese Turner-Jones, I spoke to, did some articles with, kind of talked about this and these processes, right? I call it intentional because the good intention was there, and they shut it down intentionally, right? And now it's almost impossible. And small business owners who may be starting a business or had started a business in the last 2 years who could benefit from this don't even know about it. They probably don't know it exists.
Understanding the why, I guess, would be important in this, Chester, right?
So because it's not important, right? You see in the business section, if you pick up the business section today, Small Business Act advocates stepping down from 17-year fight for legislation. If you listened to the show yesterday, Mark Turnquist was on here screaming for small business, literally, shouting the words small business, because he's been fighting for these things for forever. Why do they? And the problem I have, and I didn't get to say this yesterday, is, and just like the texter said jokingly, you have laid out in documentation and through concierge services for foreign investors how they can go about receiving everything they need to get their projects done. I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some truth to that.
We see it every day. Yeah. There's a government agency just for them, right? But a small Bahamian business has no idea, and there's no concierge service. They have to figure it all out, step by step, piece by piece, and then they're not told what they might have access to make their lives easy. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, that process, we can make that process a lot more,
and I'm
quote
telling,
unquote, user friendly.
I'm telling you, they did. It's right on my gateway, but it's not usable anymore, right? And so this story I wrote with Therese Turner Jones, who talked about ease of doing business. She said, this is the story: banking oligopolies, slow digitalization of government services, and a guilty until proven otherwise know your customer model are keeping the ease of doing business at frustratingly meager levels in the Bahamas, right? And I read that and I brought that article up because I then went to some business advocate body, right? And I said, do you know how difficult it is for small businesses to get concessions? And they said to me, well, there was a lot of fraud in that process. Oh, people were taking advantage of it. People are going to take advantage of every single process and thing that you bring up. They're going to do it. But this guilty until proven otherwise stance that we take here is slowing business, stopping business, and stagnating growth.
You said guilty until
proven otherwise.
In the business sense?
In the business sense. So what they're saying is they must have shut down this process on my gateway because there was fraud. So people, they may have gotten a business license, gone through the process, but they were bringing in things that they didn't need for their business, TVs for their house, etc. So right, so that's a problematic thing. Yes, that's going to exist. People are going to do foolishness like that. But why make the entire process difficult for all the other people, right? And again, we talked about this with the shantytown problem, right? It's enforcement. Why make small business owners' lives more difficult because of the couple people who want to be dishonest? Just increase the enforcement of this particular thing.
No,
right?
I'm in agreement with you. I understand.
Just do that.
Don't take it all down, right?
Don't take it all down. Don't destroy the system that's going to help grow your economy. If the small business sector is one of the most important sectors in the country, why are you making it difficult for it to thrive?
So in jest, I throw this in Dwight's direction as well. You guys, you represent the media. I mean, by all means, is it possible you can identify a well-positioned representative who can shed some more light or further clarity on what's going on here? Is there timelines to get it back up? Is there is there an alternative route that persons are to take now that the initial portal has been disabled? What's the reason for it? You got me curious now, Chester. So I would put the onus back on you guys to let's just get someone in the seat, right? We got to get the politicians in the seat, right? Because they're always ready. But sometimes we need these persons who are really the movers and shakers of how our systems work in this country. We need to get them in the seat, man.
I agree. But again, these things are simple, and I say simple because it was there and it was accessible. It was the thinking behind why we shouldn't allow it to be done that is the baffling part. And
Just I'm telling you, it's simple. It is always simple on the outside. And I'm not saying it's not simple, I'm just saying before I can say that, I would love to better understand as I get I could go further in my journey on this earth. I now like to understand things a bit better
Yeah.
but in doing that, I can't assume. Too much times we make assumptions because of lack of information, and it's not always our fault why we don't have information. But I'm just saying
Yeah.
we make assumptions, and many times those assumptions are so inaccurate, and they can create problems, right? And they
Yeah.
can create misconceptions that then becomes truth, and they still ain't fact, but they can become cultural truth and societal truths, right? So anyway, I'm just saying I would behoove you to get someone in the seat who
Yeah.
can speak a bit more intelligently and accurately on this, because
Right.
I'm sure it is something that probably a lot of small business owners would like to know.
Yeah. So we talked about Singapore. Let me read the rest of some more of this article that I did when I spoke to Therese Turner-Jones, right? She explained that in a place like Estonia, the KYC process, coupled with digital systems model, pushes a business application and bank account opening process through in as little as 18 minutes. She said, quote, "You can start running your business," right? That's all these people who are business owners want. They just want to start, right? So 18 minutes, they got their license, they got their bank account open.
Yeah, Estonia is the world leader in
Yeah,
digitalization.
yeah. And then
they're doing incredible things.
And then it says, and then the authorities will come out if things don't look kosher. Then they start coming after you. But they say that it's more important for the Estonians to get a business going. If I want to open up a shop or business or manufacture whatever it is I want to do, I want to get that business going, because if I don't get it going, I'm not earning money. I'm not hiring anybody. The economy is not benefiting. So we seem to have it wrong. We seem to assume that everything is wrong about you, and I'm going to prevent you from doing this. The government is supposed to facilitate, not obstruct. This is what she said. in complete agreement, right? So even when it comes to getting loans, you talked about that. The amount of things that you need to compile, that you need to get. If you're looking at, let's say, if you're looking at renting a building, right? Prime property. You say to your business people, boy, this is a good property I need to run my business out of. Now you got to go to the bank, see if you could get the financing to start this business. It takes what? A month, maybe? And guess what happened to that building? Somebody who got the means and measures, they don't take that. Go on.
It takes a month. It takes a month to do what, Chester?
To get all of that stuff going for the bank to maybe more. Are you saying it's more?
Oh, that's all right. Boy, this.
Yeah, maybe more.
Lengthy process, sir. Very lengthy process.
But you get what I'm saying, right? Now the opportunity to rent that space is gone because our processes take forever.
Right.
It's a problem. We got some calls coming in, and let's see what these people got to say. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business. Caller, you there? Let's try this other line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business. No? Call back. Some text messages came in. This person says, I guess it's from one person. The gateway is the Minister of Technology. The gateway is the Minister of Technology, ignorance of how technology works. I don't understand what that means. Doesn't technology allow for tracking and monitoring? Where is the tech minister? The senior one, Minister of Finance, is traveling, and the junior on the basketball court. I don't know who the junior is, but yes, I mean, but that's what this article is saying, right? That they use technology to facilitate the ease of opening an account and opening and getting a business license. Now, getting a business license here through Department of Inland Revenue, while there are some steps that are mind-numbing, it's not 100% difficult.
So when you said
or lengthy,
you mean Estonia, right?
Estonia, yeah.
Yeah. So again, I mean, they're so much further, more than many other, I think any other country actually on earth, they so far in their technology integration and digitization process that it's incredible, right? We're still at the front end where
Yeah,
we've
but we
introduced
don't.
these platforms,
But we
but
don't
you
need to
know
be. We don't need to reinvent the wheel.
no, it's well, you don't reinvent the wheel, but you have to fit it into you have to custom fit it to your application, right? Your specific application. So it's not as simple as just do what Estonia did,
Well,
right? I mean, I wish it was. I wish it was.
Well,
But it's,
because our mindset really is what Therese Turner Jones said: guilty until proven otherwise. And so we have to take the time that we have to take to make sure that you
the feeling. I think that's the feeling we get just because we're still working on the quote unquote back end of a lot of this technology application and solutions, right? We're only on phase one, which is the intro, right? While Estonia, they've already worked through that a long time ago, so they're on phase 10. All right, and you have countries like in America, just putting a little chart out there, like they're on phase 3 or 4, right? We're still in phase 1, and so there's a lot of stuff on the back end that needs to be worked through and worked on. So taking it down may simply mean we don't currently have the resources to manage it or enforce it better for the few individuals that may be taking advantage of the system. So right now we actually have to disable it for everyone, right?
Yeah.
But of course that can't necessarily be communicated, and it definitely feels like the rest of us are being punished, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not justifying just. I'd have to have a better understanding of what's going on with this.
I feel you.
But a lot of it, the intentions are good, man. Just like everything in life, just like the person who say,
if you don't get from around here.
By the person who say my Haitian, that was good intention, coming. The delivery was good intention. Not saying that they achieved it through and through. A lot of stuff in life just is good intention.
Slavery was a good intention as well. Let's take this call before these people hang up. Good morning.
One particular body.
Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning to both of you again. Good morning to the White Bahamas, Alan Johnson.
Hey.
Estonia. 1996, they made a commitment to invest in technology.
When was that? Say that date again.
1996. In 2000, they created it as a human right. The internet, broadband access. Their digital ID system around 2002, 2003. And today, 100% of their government services are online. You can start a business in less than 20 minutes. You even can register a child birth digitally. You can file taxes in minutes. They have their e-residency program around 2015, where anybody in the world can become digital citizens of Estonia and locate and manage their business online from there and get all of the business of citizenship. Now, I go back to the Bahamas. The Bahamas, for my time being home, 25 years almost, anyone can tell you, it's on the record that I've said that the Bahamas has been listed as the most digitally prepared country in the world. And in about, I think it was December 2021, The Guardian had a story that actually verified. I think they put us as number 2, but you didn't factor in a lot of things. Grand Bahama, if treated as a country, would be the second most digitally prepared country in the world. Now, listen to this very carefully. Digital preparedness is not utilization. That's two different things. So the problem is that digitizing the Bahamas requires to understand a mindset, not buying appliances. And so if you go back and look at Estonia and other countries, what they did was they built an infrastructure that we practically already have. We have, for about 15 years, simply sat in the bathwater, not even getting soap or anything else of that sort, and thought that we were cleaning up our so-called digitization process. In case you don't remember, we paid a few million, 10, 20 millions of dollars to Estonia to begin to advising us 15 years ago. I think they were one of the key people in switching to the new government system that we have, that we keep revamping and refixing and going back over and over again. The question is not technology. The question is competence. A good example of that is the government dumbing down this digital and bringing this novel thing called data protection, when we should be now preparing what is called a giant leap and moving to data privacy, which is separate from data protection, which is separate from data sovereignty, which is separate from information. All of those things are different things. And so what we do is we have people with analog mindset who begin to make digital arguments. And it's almost like when I sit and watch my two daughters pretend to cook, right? I never, ever sit there and in my mind say the food is real. And that's where we are from a growth perspective. But we could actually digitize government to get ease of the businesses in less than 1 year if we have competence and determination to do it. The question is, why don't we?
Yeah.
And that's all comes down to willingness and awareness. You can't buy appliances to build things. It's like buying a car to say you're building a road. All you're going to do is hit potholes, and that's what we've been doing. We haven't built the infrastructure or utilized the infrastructure to get us to where we want. And so, again, we are now in a competitive nature. We're no longer competing with our neighbors. We are now competing with the world. And if we don't get this right in the next year to 2 years, we don't have to worry about anyone asking us to because we'll be so far behind, it won't matter for us to catch up. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I was wondering if it was C. Allen who sent me this text messages. Somebody else coming from $100, Farrell.
Oh, Lord. They got no chance.
They didn't want to win. They said they want 100 for this advice. And watch this now. Watch this. Relocate or start your business to the Freeport, Lucaya area. Now, that's very interesting, right? Apply for a Grand Bahama Port Authority license. Fees range from $750 for most Bahamian businesses. Apply for your trade name with Inland Revenue. Get license approval in about 30 days from Port Authority. Hopefully that's not true. Maybe that's less. Pay the insurance company for a bond for your license. When the process is complete, about 45 days, bring in your vehicles duty and VAT free. Build your house duty and VAT free. Bring in all your equipment and material for business duty and VAT free. Did I mention that fuel for your vehicles are duty and VAT free? So do I get my $100? You do not. But I do know some people who have purposefully moved their businesses to Grand Bahama, to the Freeport area, because some processes there are much easier. And it's not just because of the duty free. Yeah, because of the Port Authority. And it's not just because of the duty free zone. It was more than that. But I most of my clientele, from a business standpoint, would be on New Providence. So it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter whether it's Freeport, Grand Bahama, areas outside of Freeport, Inagua, wherever. If things should not be difficult, too near impossible. Let's take this call coming in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business. No, not there? No. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business.
Hi, good morning, Chester. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning.
And who's your co-host? He been to you since you woke up this morning?
I'm sorry, am I what?
Okay, slow down. Let's get on the same level. Your co-host, this is a gentleman who been on your show from this morning.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you don't get angry. Say I'm not a rude person, okay? So just relax. Now, I listened to him all morning, and every time you bring up a statement, he have a negative answer to it. Look like he representing the government. But you know the good thing about it? When C. Allen just called. And you notice, Chester, when C. Allen called, no one just called and criticized C. Allen. And you know it, because I listen to you and Dwight every morning.
Thank you.
Now, the young, he asked C. Allen which year that was. C. Allen gave 2 years, Let's see if he was following. Ask him what was the first year C. Allen gave.
Sir, I only remember 1996.
Okay, then he said 201 or 202. But you read it in 1996, okay?
Yes, sir.
But you see, I learned nothing from this gentleman. So guess what I did? I cooked some soup today. So I walk out by Little
What type of
Chester.
soup? Hold on, sir. What type of soup?
Oh, good. Okra soup, pigtail, salt beef, cassava.
Man, that's a nice soup. It's
But,
good soup
hey,
weather,
I'm
too.
from the island, my friend. I 87. So, I know about cooking out on the rocks, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
well,
sir.
you wouldn't know about that because you ain't born yet. Maybe your grandmother can tell you about it, okay?
Yes, sir.
And the kitchen used to be about 20 feet away from the house.
Wow.
And the roof was with those straws which you make the bag with. Go out in the pine yard, bringing plenty of straws, and guess what? We used to tie it on the pine wood, tie it on it, and man, them they don't leak.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me tell you about a miracle that's happened every day. People didn't recognize it. After this, Chester, I go in. I talk to you, Chester.
Yes, sir.
You get up in the morning before you go to school. In the summer, you get some dry grass. You break up some small wig, put it on the grass, hit your match, catch your fire. Then you break up the bigger wig, you put it on the fire. Then we cook, we used to call it salt and water grits. And then we get the grape tree. I don't think we used to wash it. Put that, take up that grits, put it in the grape tree. Man, and we run into school eating grits. We call it salt and water. Nah, Chester, when you done cook in the evening, and all that black smoking wood, the ashes is white, man. White like snow. And guess what, Chester? We used to grab that ashes and clean our teeth with it.
Mm.
Okay? That's the miracle. It was right there. People didn't recognize it. Black wood and smoke turn the remnants, the ashes, white ashes, and soft. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to say this to Chester, and I say this with love.
Yes.
I don't know where you find this fella from. Because every time you bring up something, he got an answer. He got a negative answer to it. You all have a blessed day in the Lord now.
You too. You as well. Have a blessed day. And
Negative.
He just he trying to bring balance to the conversation, sir. That's
all. That's all. A lot of times people think that that's a side.
They just want to know whether you believe what you're saying.
That's all. And sometimes it's on the outside, it's so easy for us to jump to massive conclusions. And like I said, I tend to taking my time, Chester, taking more time, taking a step back and trying to understand things before I formulate my positions, right? Because I've been wrong. I can admit it. I've been wrong a lot of times earlier on. So I learn from that, right? And I see how other people operate. And you just try to get access to better information before I make a conclusion, especially if it's something on a national or political level, right?
Yeah.
Or financial level.
Yeah. This text message that came in said, "Good morning. Can you elaborate on the duty-free house and plan and building material, please?" You have to pay somebody $100 for that information, texter. that information costs $100. That information costs $100. They're talking about Freeport. They're talking about Freeport. If you was getting excited about anywhere outside of Freeport, no, they're talking about Freeport.
Yeah. If they want more information, I'm sure they could hit up the Port Authority.
Yeah, you just
the one thing the Port Authority does well.
They got a lot of information.
Yeah, and they run more like a business more than a government organization, right? Because they're private.
Yeah.
So there's they do things a bit differently.
Yeah. We got another call coming in. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business. Caller, you there?
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm good. I'm a small business manufacturer on a small scale.
Yes, thank you for calling.
I produce unusual products. And I'm surprised that I'm hearing what y'all are saying with regard to the duty-free exemption, click to clear, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many small businesses in this country who have no idea about duty-free exemption or whatever they're producing. But I know when I applied for it, I got assistance from Ministry of Finance. I'm talking with guidance, etc. But when I got to my broker, it's like they were totally lost. And it became extremely frustrating. And really, it worked. But I think a couple of months ago, when we had a shipment come in, it worked, and it's like a total duty on your back. Please, we went over this before. You know, this has happened since then. But it's like nobody is advising the small business man or woman. And I believe for all of this to work, there ought to be somebody who is dedicated to the process, because we want to see a profit at the end of the day. We need the systems to work for us. And it's like it's just so haphazard. One moment it'll work, the next minute it won't work. And I'm surprised to hear y'all saying that it is discontinued, going to et cetera, et cetera. But the small businessman and woman here in this country, we need consistent assistance. We need probably, I'm not talking about small business development, and there ought to be a unit that can assist the small businessman and woman. Because at the end of the day, we would like to see a profit, and that's why we are doing what we do, to be independent business people.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I ask you what duty you pay on some of the stuff you bring in? Is it high?
Listen, one time it was 35%. The other time they did it, it was 25%. I have asked them, I said, what are y'all doing? I said, what are y'all doing? I said, for this item, and see, you have to be knowledgeable as well, because I would have my listing, and I would have it, I would have it set out. Well, I pay 25 for this, 20 for this. But I will tell you, it's annoying that I could have been duty free, and now I am having to pay duty, but because something isn't working on that other side.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Let me ask you this. You didn't say what your product is. You might as well get that in, if you don't mind.
Some people probably already know my voice. I produce Bahamian-made handbags. Top, middle market, high market.
Yeah.
That's what I do. And our business is well over the years, and it has continued to grow, because we realize we are part of the fashion industry. So every season we have to come with new stuff.
Right.
So it's not just what you get in the store market. If you request it, we can probably do it for you. But that's the genesis of what we do.
Do you think
company?
Do you think your volumes, if you could get your costs down? I mean, because people buy things. Sometimes you say high end. I'm sure people buy it because it's an amazing product and it's niche. But if you could get your costs down, do you think you could do more volume?
Well, I will tell you that we are comfortable with where we are and we do well.
Okay, good.
Okay, we know where we fit in the market, and that's where we've been operating. And I thank God for our Bahamian men and women, the women especially. But we have been doing okay.
Yeah. But the point you're making is we as business people shouldn't be frustrated with any processes.
I totally agree. There should be no frustration, but there's too much inconsistency. Too much inconsistency, because can you imagine last time when your shipment came in, it was this. You go back again, and this has changed. And, you know, there was no advisement. Come on, Bahamas, let's get it together.
Yes.
I believe we can be such a wonderful place to do business, but, you know, sometimes I ask, are we about all of this? Are we serious?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I thank you so much for calling and giving your perspective on things.
So do I get $100?
Man, you ain't fix our problem.
Yes, everybody want my $100.
If they fix it based on your complaint, I will give you $200.
Yeah, and just,
you know,
just
$100 I won't get. You know, we probably won't stay fixed for a while.
Yeah.
You know, but I pray they're listening and they would get it together. Just put some stuff in place to make it easier for us to do business. What's his name? What's the guy's name? Always going to Seattle and always talking about Singapore and all that.
Yeah.
Bring all that type of operations, bring it here so that we can, you know, I like hearing in Singapore, they do this in Japan, they do this, but wouldn't have one thing we doing in the Bahamas. Get it together, people.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a nice day.
You as well. Pay for the people platform. You know, if it's digital, it could be replicated. You know, all you gotta do is pay your subscription.
And a question you asked the lady was, you know, if your costs were lower, could you increase productivity? I think a lot of times, the first question is if your costs are lower, would it increase your profit margin, right? Obviously the answer usually is yes, and that allows you to consider more options, right?
Yeah.
You have more money to spend into the local economy. You have more money, discretionary income, then to either incentivize your employees in a different way, provide training, provide other developmental tools, reinvest in your business, possibly open up additional businesses that you might want to do. So it's and that's really the thrust. The thrust is usually to drive down costs so you can increase profit, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you get into business. You don't get into business to be busy, because then you're just an employee of your business. You get into business to actually make a decent profit on the risk that you're taking. It's a risk. It's a lot of work, right? So there's a lot of incentive to drive down costs, right?
And
especially
and
for
enough
small businesses.
And enough that you can feed yourself in this very expensive economy.
Correct.
Let's take this. Sneak this call in before we have to end the show. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business.
Yeah, Shallow Johnson. 30 seconds.
The
Freeport model worked, but not the way it's supposed to, but better than anything else we have in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And that's where the incentives are there. But do you know that lady that called?
Mm-hmm.
There's a link on the customs website that no longer works, that anybody in the Bahamas, and we've been paying for this for like 30 years, anybody in the Bahamas can put whatever product they have and it'll give you the rate and all those other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the same link that's also on the government website that no longer works. In fact, the government site no longer works since they did an upgrade about 3 months ago. They each year they get worse. And after it's like we pay millions of dollars for less. And now they just did a new upgrade. They're running 2 shadow sites, the old site and the new site, depending on what you link. And neither of them works for what they're supposed to do. And it is just unacceptable in the 21st century.
Yeah. Thank you, C. Allen. Appreciate you calling back. Let me tell you, the government paid when they first got that full government site. I'm sure they paid a ton of money for. I hated it. I still hate it. It's not a user-friendly website. It's terrible.
Which one is that? My Gateway?
No, the general government website.
Okay.
So it's terrible. Anyway, it's 10 o'clock. Farrell, appreciate you. Sorry, caller. Appreciate you being here. And I hope things change. I hope they change.
Well,
I hope they don't take 30 to 40 years.
We gotta make a change, Chester. But let's try to get some people, more knowledgeable people in the seat, so we can ask them questions and allow them to clarify better for the behavior, who they serve.
And we need to hear from more small business owners when we talk about these things, just like the lady who called. Appreciate her calling. On the Clock with Aaron Green is up next. Be good to each other. God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. we offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Attention, RBC clients. To comply with regulatory requirements and to avoid service interruption, you need to update your information at your RBC branch. While you're there, enroll in RBC Digital Banking or 24/7 access to your accounts anytime, anywhere. Update your information and bank at your convenience with RBC Digital Banking today.
Hard work and opportunity are the keys to success. I started as a packing boy, a bus boy, and a space cleaner. Now, I'm a businessman and a lawyer. As chairman of BAIC, I focus on creating new opportunities for Bahamian entrepreneurs and farmers. I'm Darren Pickstock, candidate for the PLP in Golden Isles. It would be an honor to work hard for Golden Isles and help with concerns big and small. Let's work together to create new pathways to security and success for more Bahamians.
This has been a paid announcement by the Progressive Liberal Party.
Don't wait for a storm to arrive. Stock up on hurricane supplies, make home repairs, purchase a generator, and more this hurricane season with a Fidelity personal loan. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Calling all Bahamian entrepreneurs. Get ready for the Entrepreneurship Think Tank, one of the Tourism Development Corporation's signature programs that provides both information and direction to new and developing businesses. Expect a lineup of industry experts and keynote speakers whose keen insights, strategies, and real-world experiences can help you take your business to the next level. Come on down to the Entrepreneurship Think Tank on Thursday, November 13th, 2025, from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the National Training Agency.
Attention, RBC clients. To comply with regulatory requirements and to avoid service interruption, you need to update your information at your RBC branch. While you're there, enroll in RBC Digital Banking or 24/7 access to your accounts anytime, anywhere. Update your information and bank at your convenience with RBC Digital Banking today.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.